Okay, let's begin. We are on Daf Chet Amud Bet 8b4. Hakol Golin Alidei Israel. The Mishnah taught us that wherever a person gets galut, you get galut for killing another Jewish person by accident, obviously. The Gemara says Hakol Golin Alidei Israel Tuyemai. What does that mean? That when it says everyone gets galut, it sounds like it's saying more than just a person gets galut. Hakol. That sounds like it's trying to tell us something that you would not otherwise have thought. The Gemara answers, La'atuye eved v'kuti, to include an eved and a kuti. As we explained already, these are people that are living under Jewish rule, following. They're forced to be under Jewish rule on some level, and therefore they're operating within the boundaries of this law. The Eved has a halacha of what's called chayav mitzvot ba'isha. He's obligated in mitzvot like a woman, so he has like a semi-Jewish status already. And by the way, when the Eved Kenani gets his papers for freedom, if he gets freed by his master, that paper, that get shechrur, is already like a conversion. Okay, so the Kutim were a group of people that we've already discussed a few times that they were this sect that they accepted some of the things from the Torah, but not Torah Sheba'al Peh. So there was lots of different things they argued with the Chachamim on. Okay, Gemara continues, but still they're still subject to this rule. Tanina laha de Tana Rabana. The Gemara says this idea it matches. We learned in the Braita. In the Mishnah, Eved v'kuti goleh v'lokeh alidei Israel. Eved and a kuti, they get galut, and also v'lokeh, they'll get malkut in a scenario. What's it called? What they get, for what they've done to Israel. V'Yisrael goleh v'lokeh alidei kuti v'eved. And in the inverse, also Yisrael can also get galut and can get lashes for what he's done to either of these partial citizen Jews. The Gemara continues. I can understand that. Why? That means, what does that mean? When he kills Bishogeg, right, he gets galut, and Velokeh, he gets malkut in the scenario of Latieh, when he did like a curse. He placed a curse on the person. What does the Braita mean when it tells you that Israel gets galut and malkut for a kuti? I understand galut, that has a case when you by mistake killed the kuti. But what's ela lokeh? When do you have a scenario where when you get malkut? The Gemara answers, for cursing. Lokeh amai. What should be the reason? That he cursed? It's not the case. Why? The pasuk says you can't curse a nasi, which means a leader, the head of a tribe. When it says amcha, right, your nation, what is it coming to tell you when it says that he's in your nation? It's saying when he does the acts of your nation. The Gemara thinks that from that point, that excludes a kuti. Why? Because kuti they're not following the same laws as your nation. The Gemara says, so what is the case where Yisrael would get malkut for a kuti? The Gemara answers, Ela amar Rav Bar Yaakov, Kigon she'idbo v'huzam. The scenario be where he said edut on the guy, and then afterwards there was edim zomemim. So maybe the scenario is where they were zomemmed the Israel for giving false testimony against the kuti. And in that case, he'll get malkut. The Gemara says, one second. What would be the halacha in such a case with regards to an eved? She'id bo vehuzam. Eved bar edutu. Can an eved, is that shayach? Is it possible for him to give testimony? Because again, let's follow what the Mishnah's logic here is. The Mishnah does a flip-flop. It says you need to go on mute. Someone has their, I think Nathan, you need to put it on mute. Right? The Gemara says, the Mishnah says, Eved, it's Yisrael for Eved and Kuti gets Galut and Malkut. Eved and Kuti for Israel gets Galut and Malkut. The Gemara says, hold on, I don't understand. The first way I get, But how could there ever be a scenario if you're telling me that the scenario is Edim Zomim and Eved is not able to give testimony? So there's no scenario of Edim Zomim by an Eved. Eved by Edutu. The Gemara says, so what would be the scenario where we're going to give us a good a response of Yisrael gets Galut and Malkut for a Kuti and Eved, and vice versa. Elam Rav Acha bar Rav Ika. Rav Acha said, Rav Ika, Hacha b'mayaskinan. What's the scenario here? Kegon shehikahu, when the Yisrael hit, he slammed him. Hikahu makah she'en ba shaveh peruta. It's not an amount of damage which is valued at a shaveh peruta. Tamar Rav Yochanan said, Rav Yochanan, hikahu hakah she'en ba shaveh peruta. If someone hits someone and it doesn't equal a monetary amount, he gets malkut. V'lo makshinan hakah liklala. And we do not have a hekesh of hakah, of hitting, to klala. So when you have we said before, when you have for a cursing, we'd say a kuti is different. Why? Because the isur is oseh ma'aseh amcha, when he does what you do. But when it comes to hitting, so when someone hits someone, a hit that does not have shaveh peruta, so in that scenario, you get lashes instead of the full payment of nezek, tsar, ripui, shevet, bosh, and all the various things you would get when you cause someone damage by hitting them.
But if he broke his arm, he would have to pay and doesn't get land.
He would not get lashes. A good question as to why, but that is the halacha. Okay, partially the concepts of double jeopardy we've discussed before. So either way, the point is, in a scenario where he hits him, so hits a Yisrael for damage less than his shaveh peruta, he gets malkut. Okay, I don't know about you. I kind of feel like I'd still rather pay. All right. Either way, but point is, right? But maybe you get a nice Jewish lawyer, and he's going to take you for everything you're worth. All right. So the answer over here is that we're talking about such a type of hitting, and therefore, if that's the halacha by a Jew, that's also going to be the halacha for a kuti. But when you said earlier that a kuti is different, that was only in the scenario of cursing, where the pasuk says "V'nasi be'amecha lo ta'or," and he uses the word of be'amecha. So since it doesn't use the word be'amecha over here by hitting someone, so therefore that would be the case where a Yisrael could get lashes for a kuti, and a kuti get lashes for Yisrael. Okay. Chutz me'al yidei ker toshav, the Gemara said, all these cases, Yisrael gets galut for them, and they get galut for Yisrael. Chutz me, except for the case of ger toshav. When you have a ger toshav, the ger toshav is a partial ger. So in other words, you're not talking about a scenario where the person is Jewish. They're not a kuti, they're not a eved, they're non-Jewish. But they're accepting seven mitzvot b'nei Noach and to follow the rules that we have for them whilst living under Jewish rule. The Gemara says, Alma, what do you see from here? Ger toshav oved kochavimu. You see from here that he's not considered part of the Jewish people. He's not like a kuti, he's not like an eved. Let's look at the end of the Mishnah. Ger toshav goleh al yidei ger toshav. If a ger toshav hits another ger toshav by accident, he goes into galut. But if he's not someone who's Jewish, he's a oved kochavim, then there would be no galut at all. So how could it be? What is he? Is he oved kochavim or not? If he's not oved kochavim, then he should be part of the category of kuti and eved. If he is oved kochavim, how could we say later on that when he strikes another ger toshav, he has the law of galut? Gemara says, Amar Rav Kana answers, lo kasha. Kan be ger toshav shara ger toshav. The end of the Mishnah, we're talking about ger toshav on ger toshav violence, okay? Kan be ger toshav shara Yisrael. Over here, we're talking about a ger toshav who killed a Jewish person. So, what's the Gemara's answer, effectively?
But isn't the Gemara talking about ger toshav that hit ger toshav?
Sorry?
Isn't the Gemara talking about ger toshav that hit ger toshav?
That's what the end of the Mishnah is talking about. So what Rav Kana is answering over here is like, let's look back at the Mishnah for 1 second. Okay, the Mishnah says, turn back one page. Hakol golin al yidei Israel, Yisrael golin al yideihem. Chutz miger toshav. Okay? V'ger toshav ena goleh, el al yidei ger toshav. So ger toshav and ger toshav gets galut. But then you look at it earlier, it says chutz miger toshav, that that Yisrael can't get for him and he can't get for Yisrael. Okay? That would indicate that he's considered like Oved Kochavim, because he's different than Kuti and Eved. But then the Gemara says, the Mishnah says later on, Ger Toshav and Ger Toshav does get it. So which is he? Is he Oved Kochavim? In which case, he should not get Galut even when he acts against another Ger Toshav. Or is he not Oved Kochavim? In which case, he should get Galut for a Jewish person, should get Galut for him, and he should get Galut for a Jewish person. Okay? So the Gemara says, no. The Mishnah is telling us that when Yisrael kills Ger Toshav, Yisrael goes into Galut. When a Ger Toshav kills Yisrael, he does not go to Galut. So what's the concept? What's the differential between the two cases?
Not bound by the laws. The Ger Toshav.
So then, wouldn't you say that works both ways?
Right, it's like didn't we learn that though? If he kills a goy, there's no galut.
Well, let's leave Goy for a minute. Okay, let's just stick with where we're going to get Toshav. So the answer is, when Yisrael kills him, there's Galut. Because he's not Oved Kochavim.
He's bound by the laws.
He's not Oved Kochavim because he's already accepted the 7 mitzvot b'nei Noach. Okay? So he's out of the Oved Kochavim category. And that is enough for Yisrael to go to Galut for the accidental murder of such a person. But when he kills Yisrael, he doesn't have the exemption of Galut. Every time we come across this, you have to think this way. Maybe it's not, he doesn't get exile. Maybe that its exile is not enough. When the Ger Toshav kills Yisrael, exile is not enough for him. Why? Because this idea of Galut being something that gets you kapara is a chidush by a Jewish person. Yeah.
He's not bound by thou shalt not kill. It's not like a sub-law. He accepts I don't kill people in the 7. That's one of the Noach laws?
No. Killing people has nothing to do with Galut.
But I'm saying, is that like part of the sub, like
One of them is you're not allowed to kill.
Right, so the accidental killing doesn't give him galut.
Even if it were accidental killing involved. Because the Galut is not about accidental killing. Galut is the punishment for accidental killing. So even if he accepts on himself not to accidentally kill somebody, which I don't know how you could accept on yourself because it's accidental, right? But even if he did that, even if we say, once you accept murder, so 1st degree, 2nd degree, it doesn't make a difference. It's all part of murder. True. But we would have to say that in the 7 mitzvot b'nei Noach is this mitzvah that we made up, so to speak, in the Jewish parameters, which is Galut, that he doesn't have. So for Yisrael to kill him, so long as he's not Oved Kochavim, that's enough for Yisrael to get Galut, go to Galut. But for him to kill Yisrael, there is no such punishment of Galut. So therefore, either you get killed by Beit Din, or Min HaShamayim, they take care of you. But Galut, this midway thing that was never extended to that case. Okay? Let's carry on. You sorry?
Why the Bedin won't, if he doesn't give him Galut, is it 100% that they're going to give him death?
No, they won't give him death. Hashem will take care of him. Hashem will take care of him.
I know, but
every time we say Galut's not enough, what do we mean? Mitabi de Shamayim.
Yes,
right.
I understand, but if you have a lot of goyim, then they have a different status. It becomes like they.
So if a Ger Toshav, if we could prove that a Ger Toshav did it not by accident, then of course we'll give him the death penalty. The point here is that it's accidental. So what's usually the answer for accidental if you're Jewish? We have this law of Galut. They don't have that law. So what's the punishment? Nothing. Punishment from Hashem for negligence, for killing someone with negligence. And if there was no negligence, then there's no punishment at all.
So it's stricter for Jews.
It's not stricter for Jews.
Wait.
It's less strict.
They have galut.
Yeah.
And then otherwise there is no galut, and it's.
They have galut when they kill another Ger Toshav.
Right. Okay.
When they kill Israel, that's a harsher punishment than galut will get kapara for.
Right, but it's not something that the Beit Din
will enact. Right. So they'll rely on the punishment coming. You know, remember the Wile E. Coyote when the anvil falls on the guy?
So wait, if the Beit Din
always the anvil, right?
If the Beit Din rules he should get galut, that means then Hashem will not do anything.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, we had this concept that we said earlier on. It was called Yesh Din Lemata. If there's din down here on earth, En Din Lemala. There's no, because you took care of it. En Din Lemata, in fact, that was the source we explained before Yom Kippur. You have people, before they go to the mikveh, they're hitting each other with the belts. Not hard, but just, right? Why? Because of the idea, Yesh Din Lemata. I admitted I made a mistake. Someone gave me lashes. Yeah? We dealt with it. We dealt with it. I admitted it. I got hit.
But that doesn't apply to where there's simply civil punishment. He has to pay money for any.
If the official legal punishment in Beit Din is paying money, then that's the din. That's the din lemata. Okay?
And there's nothing more, right?
No,
Okay.
exactly. And anytime it would be a monetary payment down here, then the punishment from Shamayim would also be less severe. It wouldn't be that you get death because you didn't pay. You know? Yaini, death and taxes.
Not a set, right, okay, got it.
Okay?
So if a ger is staging,
Not a ger. Ger Toshav.
Ger Toshav,
Yeah.
staging a murder, he has a better chance of getting away than Israeli.
I love that. That's what you're thinking right now.
No, I
He's
mean,
like, I should totally become a ger Toshav and then stage murders wholesale. It's called Accidental Murders Inc. Okay. Let's continue. The Gemara says, Amar Rav Kana, lo kasha kam beger toshav shara Yisrael, kam beger toshav shara ger toshav. Okay. Let's take a look at one more problem that we have at the end of the Mishnah. The end of the Mishnah says that a ger toshav does not get galut unless he kills another ger toshav. Viramini, yes, the Gemara, what are you talking about? I have a contradiction, right? We have a contradiction. Lefikach ger ve'oved kochavim shargo neragin. Anytime you have a ger or an oved kochavim that they killed, so a convert, this is now a full convert, or a oved kochavim, a idol worshiper, shargu that they killed, right? Neragin. They're killed, not a full convert. Excuse me, a ger toshav, right? A ger toshav, right? Why? Why is that the case? Because part of the seven of the Shem Mitzvot Bnei Noach is that you're not allowed to kill, and we don't have the law in the seven Mitzvot Bnei Noach that states that you can't get the death penalty unless you have hatra'ah, warning with edim. So in the legal, by the way, which is again, it's funny because Morris at the time was like, "What are you talking about? The guy killed, no one warned him. He's getting off. He doesn't get punished." In the seven Mitzvot Bnei Noach, in the courts of the world, that's the way it is. You don't get punished. You get punished even if you didn't have a warning. Okay, the Gemara says, "Viramini lefikach ger they killed even without getting warned. Katani ger dumya del kochavim." The Braita compares by putting them in one breath. We compared ger and oved kochavim, a convert, a resident alien, yani a ger toshav, and an idol worshipper. Ma oved kochavim lo shana dekatal bar mineh. Just like an oved kochavim, doesn't matter whether he kills oved kochavim or a Jew. V'lo shana dekatal bar mineh. Doesn't matter if he killed someone like him or not. Afger lo shana dekatal bar mineh. Lo shana dekatal bar mineh. Nerag. So too a ger toshav, regardless of whom he kills, if the person is like him or not like him, either way he gets killed. Because you see that we're saying them together in one breath, it would seem that their laws are synonymous. What does that then tell you? That when a ger toshav kills another ger toshav, that's when he gets galut. But he doesn't get galut if he kills someone else. It sounds like, what's it called? It sounds like that our Mishnah is saying that when a ger toshav kills another ger toshav, he gets galut. And we just saw that a ger toshav kills a ger toshav gets killed. Right. Just like if he killed a Jewish person. The Gemara says, no. Amar Rav Chizda, lo kasha, no. Kan shara go derech yirida. When he killed him, derech yirida, on the way down. Every time we talk about this, on the way down is when you get galut. So in that case, you get galut. Kan shara go derech aliyah. And when he killed him on the upward motion, that's when he doesn't have galut and he gets, what's it called?
But we give them galut?
He gets killed. Sorry?
We give a ger toshav galut? If it's a downward motion?
to another ger toshav. Yes. Okay. Derech Yiridat Israel gali. If he kills Derech Israel on the way down, he gets galut. Iunami sagili begalut. Then also he'll get galut. Derech Aliyad Israel patur. But on the way up, where Yisrael, if he killed another Yisrael, would be patur from exile, like we said on the way up. Hu nerag. He would be killed for that action because, as we said earlier, he doesn't have the law of exile in that scenario. Okay, now let's just go back to this for 1 second. Why did we say that on the way down you get galut and on the way up there's no galut? We explained that on the way down it's an accident. Therefore, on the way down you have galut. On the way up it's more on purpose. On purpose we don't give you galut. Not because it's more lenient, but because it's more strict. So therefore we rely on the punishment coming from Shamayim to hit the guy, okay? So since that's the case, we would say the same thing over here. When it's derech yirida, then the ger toshav would have a result that he gets galut. But on the way up, he would have the halacha that he gets executed. Okay? Now, the one thing I just want to point out, okay, that by Yisrael on the way up, why doesn't he get executed?
Because he's not bound by those.
No, Yisrael, when Yisrael does on the way up, what happens? No galut. So do we kill him?
It's up to Hashem.
So we should kill him. Why don't we kill him?
It was accidental.
Oh, so it's karov leposheh. It's karov lemezid. But in order to kill somebody, you need to have real mezid. Okay? So it's not enough to kill him. Whereas by a ger toshav, the ger toshav accepts on himself a harsher form of care and concern because he's living here on other people's terms. Okay? Let's continue. Amalei Rava says, 1 second. How could that be? Isn't it kavachomer? Uma derech yiridad Yisrael gali, on the way down for Yisrael, right? That's when he gets galut. Iunami sagile begalut. If when it exiles enough for a Jew, exiles enough for him, derech aliyad Yisrael patur, on the way up where Yisrael is patur, wouldn't you say wouldn't you say that it should be the same? Iunerag. When we say he gets galut, Yisrael gets galut, then we say the other guy also gets galut, and that's enough. We don't say that he's worse off. So how come also when it comes the other way, the law is not synonymous? On the way down, a Jew for a Jew gets galut on the way down, and on the way down, a ger toshav gets galut. So we say whatever is good enough for the Jew is good enough for the ger toshav. It's enough. We don't say he needs more. So they're equal. So how come on the way up, where for the Jewish person is patur, you're going to kill the ger toshav? The Gemara answers, what?
That up was the accident?
Ela amarava.
Both accident.
Rava answers, no. Beomer mutar. Okay? We're now going to reverse, take a new direction, okay, on the whole thing, because this is a good question that we just asked, okay? Now I just want to show you one piece here. Be'omer mutar. You see it right in the middle, Rashi? Smack in the middle of the Rashi, in the middle of the page. Be'omer mutar neherag delav bar galutu. Anytime a person says omer mutar, if you remember we said already earlier, that when a person says, oh, I didn't know that you weren't allowed to do this. Ignorance is not innocence. So therefore, that is a weak level of shogeg. Ignorance is not innocence. Oh, I didn't know that you weren't allowed to kill somebody. I didn't know that I'm obligated if I wasn't careful enough, right? So therefore, Rava explains, okay, the way Rava explains, the scenario where of the Ger Toshav getting not getting galut, he's getting killed, is the case of Be'omer Mutar, and therefore.
Ger Toshav is executed if he did it like this.
No, so that's one of the things I have to give you. Remind me when we go upstairs to Mincha, I have the sheets for you. Whenever you see the words Ella, Ella means not that we're changing something, it means that we're taking like a reverse course on the whole story. Okay, Ella Amar Rava, so Rava throws out the whole up and down business. He doesn't like it because of the question that we just asked. So what does he say instead? He now goes back to the original question. What was the original question that Rav Chizda was trying to ask? On the one hand, it says in the Braita, if you remember, right? On the one hand, it says Gervo v'kochavim shargu neragin, and so Ger and v'kochavim seem to be the same. So therefore, Ma'o v'kochavim doesn't matter who he kills, one or the other, whatever the case is, he is chayav. So also Ger lo shtat katar b'mineh, lo shtat katar la'mineh. Doesn't make a difference if the Ger Toshav kills a Ger Toshav, kills the Israel. In either scenario, he's going to get executed. How does our Mishnah say then that a Ger Toshav that kills a Ger Toshav gets what's it called? Gets galut? On that, Rava answers no. The answer is it's talking about be'omer mutar. The reason why he doesn't get executed, right, is because it's omer mutar. But he also, right, that's why we're ruling in this case that the law of execution does not apply. So when the Braita says that it doesn't make a difference, that's by willful execution. That's when he kills him on purpose. And in that case, it doesn't make a difference if he's Jewish or not Jewish, right? Ger Toshav or Yehudi, in both cases, the Ger Toshav would get executed. However, be'omer mutar, that's not enough to be able to give him this punishment. So that's how Rava is answered. Amale Abaya said, Omer mutar anusu. Omer mutar is anus. The Gemara says, Amale shani Omer mutar kor the mezidu. So Abaya says, 1 second. You're going to tell me now that the reason why it's shogeg is because of Omer mutar. Omer mutar is ones. On that, Rava answered, no. There's different levels of ones. There's ones, which is real ones, and that's where we have, there's shogeg, which is real shogeg, and that's where we have galut. But omer mutar is already a higher level than that, so therefore you can't have galut because it's two on purpose, and then we would have the execution. And that's how Rava answers the case. So Rav Chizda is going to differentiate between up and down. That's how Rav Chizda is answering this question, right? That when we said they're the same, that's talking about one action. Our Mishnah is talking about when they get galut, when it's going in a downward motion. Whereas Rava is answering, no. Our Mishnah is talking about be'omer mutar. The Mishnah is talking about b'shogeg. That Mishnah, the other one, is talking about omer mutar, and over there he would get executed because it's karov lemezid, and he doesn't have the option of galut for karov lemezid. Baruch Hanei Le'olam, amen ve'amen.